Good afternoon. My name is Alexander Mussfeldt, and I am a student at the University of Wisconsin-Superior. Today I will be speaking to you all about cyberbullying. In 2019, the U.S. Department of Education reported widespread cyberbullying among public school students, with 33% of middle school students, 30% of high school students, 20% of combined school students, and 5% of primary school students reporting being cyberbullied. This topic has been thoroughly researched, and this speech will cite many studies and articles on cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is a problem facing today's youth, and this speech will define cyberbullying, discuss its negative impact on adolescent health, and highlight the current methods in place to prevent cyberbullying. To begin, it is necessary to define cyberbullying in Drs. Justin Pachin and Samir Hinduja's 2015 book, Bullying Beyond the Schoolyard, Preventing and Responding to Cyberbullying. They define cyberbullying as willful and repeated harm inflicted through computers, cell phones, and other electronic devices. Now, these two men are co-founders of the Cyberbullying Research Center, and this speech will cite a few of their prominent works. With this definition, it is important to look at the similarities and differences between bullying and cyberbullying. First, the similarities are addressed by Kowalski, Limber, and Agustin in Cyberbullying, Bullying in the Digital Age. They discuss three facets of bullying and cyberbullying. Both are acts of aggression. There is usually a power of imbalance, and the behaviors are often repeated. And importantly enough, similarity they address in additional studies that is also an intent to harm. Both the overlap between cyberbullying and traditional bullying by Drs. Tracy Wazendorp and Catherine Bradshaw, and measuring cyberbullying implications for research by Pachin and Hinduja identify an intent to harm as an important characteristic shared by both traditional bullying and cyberbullying. With this definition of cyberbullying, it is necessary to identify key differences with traditional bullying. These differences are identified again by Pachin and Hinduja, this time in their 2006 article, Bullies Move Beyond the Schoolyard, a preliminary look at cyberbullying. The article addresses how cyberbullies have a great deal of anonymity, a significant lack of supervision, and easy access to people consistently on electronic devices. Traditional bullies are in person and known to know their victim, whereas online bullies are able to hide behind false names and accounts, typically called trolls. The authors make a very important point to say physical separation of a bully and the victim is no longer a limitation in the frequency, scope, and depth of harm experienced and what is dished out. These differences make cyberbullying almost effortless for the perpetrator. Now that we have the definition and we've discussed some of the similarities and differences, I will move on and we'll talk a little bit about the negative impact cyberbullying has on adolescent health. First, there is mental and school effects seen, both in Pachin and Hinduja's 2006 article and in Kowalski's 2008 book, Cyberbullying, Bullying in the Digital Age. Anxiety, depression, poor school performance, and increased absences are seen. This then leads to more serious physical effects. Kowalski identifies adolescents then experiencing somatic symptoms. Sadly, there are too many reports of children committing suicide as a result of relentless cyberbullying. One of these is Phoebe Prince. Phoebe was continuously bullied online by a group of girls until she hung herself. Jennifer Holliday covers Phoebe's story along with others in her article, Cyberbullying. These deaths have since led to legal action and laws and policies have been put into place. And lastly, we'll talk about some of the things being put into place. I would like to call attention to the current methods in place to go up against cyberbullying. Cyberbullying has now become a legal issue from these deaths. The bullies are facing criminal charges in Phoebe's case and other similar cases. A recent case in national news is the death of Conrad Roy in the Michelle Carter court case. Michelle Carter bullied her boyfriend through text messages encouraging him to kill himself. Conrad did, committed suicide, and Carter was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Currently, all states have bullying prevention laws, with some states criminalizing cyberbullying. All of these laws also require schools to have policies to deal with bullying, and cyberbullying is being addressed in these policies as well. Now that we've covered the legal aspects, let's wrap this up. To summarize, the speech discussed cyberbullying and its important problem facing today's youth. It has been defined as willful and repeated harm using electronic means, and cyberbullying also has damaging health effects. Finally, there are laws, policies, and school programs being put in place to combat cyberbullying. But as a society, we all need to do our part to stop cyberbullying. Thank you for your time and your attention. Have a great day.